Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style. Oh, wait a minute, that disc is mine. What do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal. Oh my, yes, there's blood on the disc. It's because of all those sharp little bumps. The man must have scratched his finger on them. I found it first, alright? I mean, it belonged to me old man. Oh my god. Literally attacking someone because she wants to sell it. So you're not having it. Oh, you take it. Me? If I am to it, they'll have it off me again, so you keep hold of it. Mr. Strahd, why is this disc so important to her? Did you restart Steam? I didn't start Steam anywhere. I'm still in it. I just had to restart the chat. Why is the disc so important to her? Music bot disc has been entered into the court record. A piece of music which remains unidentified is stored in the disc by the means of small protrusions. You there in the black livery. Hand that disc to me at once, please. No, don't. He's lying. Grown-ups are all liars. What do I do now? How am I going to resolve this? You just give him the disc as it is. Or... Mr. Holmes, I need your help. Mr. Sholmes? What are you examining with such keen interest there? As you enjoy a bar of caramel, I see. Why did you press again? So, you found me at last, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. It counts as a separate stream. Okay, I need to check that. 1 second. Because if it is, that's annoying. Lurk in the shadows. You go to here. Oh, really? Yeah, it's doing it as a separate stream. Why? I didn't restart it. I'm going to have to edit it now. Why did YouTube do that? 1/2. Save. Go back. I now need to edit this other one, which for some reason decided to split into 2 separate ones. I will say that was nothing on my side. I didn't do anything. I didn't drop any frames. I didn't lose connection at all. So I have no idea why it did that, other than YouTube doing it. Like, it just suddenly broke on YouTube's side for some reason. Great. Need to put these back. And I need to put 2/2 on the top. I also need to check Twitch now. Although I think Twitch handles it better, but I think it's fine. Just check. I think Twitch... Yeah. Twitch is also saying it's been 4 minutes. What? Wow. Okay, then. Okay, game. Just break on me for no reason. That's annoying. That's really, really annoying. We'll just have to deal with it. I don't know why it did that. I didn't do anything on my side. It was the actual, like, connection to the other things, I guess. Might be Restream itself. Anyway. After that young pickpocket sent me on my way, I was forced to lurk in the shadows. Truly ostracized as the rest of you partook in the jovial atmosphere of fellowship. I had nothing to occupy my mind, but was too ashamed to let society see what my downfall had done to me. So, feigning mock interest, I pretended to examine the tedious trinkets in this desolate place. Whilst, as you shrewdly observed, gnawing on the only friend I have left, the 7% solution of caramel. Pray, do you not claim to understand the depths of my despair, Mr. Naohiro? But how could you? Oh, so lonely, so desperately lonely. Then why on earth didn't you rejoin the conversation? Things have gotten from bad to worse over here, you know. Hey, Von Karma, welcome. Thanks for scaring me. Whoever followed. Jeez. I've heard much of your conversation. Or rather, in my craving for human contact, my ears devoured every word that was uttered. You really were sad, weren't you? Poor Mr. Sholmes, I feel simply awful for you. It would seem that my inferences are correct. Oh, surely you're not about to tell us that you've solved the entire case once again? My dear madam, sometimes I wonder, were my genius for deduction to be commoditized? How much could I pawn it for? It seems Mr. Sholmes has had another of his flashes of inspiration. But who knows if it will help us resolve the situation between Mr. Strahd and the mysterious gentleman. What's the right thing to do here? I mean, we can listen to it. Well, Mr. Strahd, it would appear you find yourself in something of a predicament. Where the blue blazes have you been, eh? Pardon? When a lady's in trouble, a true gent's supposed to be there to help. Straight away. Not an hour later, he's fallen over again. Harsh. You told him to leave. And who, pray tell, are you? Mr. Egbert Benedict. You have, in my eyes, a veritable encyclopedic array of curiosities about your person. And nevertheless, there are two immovable conclusions I have drawn. I beg your pardon. The first is this. The true reason of your visit to this pawnbrokery today is something you have not yet revealed. And the second is this. A considerable crime is in contemplation, one you will orchestrate with intent to steal a vast sum of money. Well, Mr. Benedict, what say you of my deductions? How? It's turned as white as a hard-boiled egg. It would seem that once again, Mr. Sholmes has made a flawless deduction. Just who do you think you are, sir? Ah, yes, as I had hoped. This is precisely the pained expression I was looking for. Deduction time! So, shall we begin? The time has come for yet another Herlock Sholmes logic and reasoning spectacular. The great deduction. The game is afoot. Topic 1. Mystery Man's aim. First of all, we must ask ourselves on what business you ventured into this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed this pickpocket here, having had a redemption token or ticket stolen from you from the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the staff recruitment flyer. The piece of paper in your hand is a staff wanted advertisement for this very shop. Oh, I ran out of breath for a second. I do kind of remember you, Von Karma. It's been a while, but welcome back. Chosen device since the 8th, so 15-second difference from Twitch to YouTube. Yeah, that's kind of the thing with YouTube. For some reason, they're always behind. Yet even the most unobservant would soon realize that a man of your appearance has no need for such employ. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. He threw it away. The cane with which you are usually clutched to in your person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot! I've had this cane for years. The contradiction in which I speak of is, of course, missing. The missing ferrule. The end of the walking cane could be terminated with a metal ferrule to protect the wooden tip. Yeah. Let me just zoom in on this. And yet, detailed analysis shows the wooden tip of this stock to be utterly bare. Therefore, there is only one conclusion. The rod that you hold in your hand, which appears to be a walking cane, is in fact no cane at all. Something ripped there. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Oh. Thanks for that other follow. And in your recording, you inadvertently facilitate the answer to the next conundrum you present. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Ah, yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle with which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding the riddle you see. Is someone just continually, following Valorant? Thank you. I have no idea why it keeps playing that one. That one? There are so many others it could play, but it only plays that one. No, I'm not clicking that. I'm clicking this. From the moment I saw it, my suspicions were aroused. Really? What walking cane demands such a stout handle, mused I. But of course, as I said, this is no walking cane. No, that rod... is the broken handle of a shovel. What? Are you insane? And now, having determined this undeniable truth, the conclusion is clear. Your true motive for coming here was to take employment as the establishment in order to excavate the ground beneath the premises. What a calculated crime you have conceived, sir. A wickedly calculated crime. Topic 2. Great crime. Now, Mr. Benedict, let me continue. We must expose the details of the elaborate crime you have been planning. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, intend to excavate the ground beneath this pawnbrokery with a broken shovel? What on earth do you propose I would expect to find there? Some long-forgotten treasure, I suppose? Save for such a fanciful theory, what possible reason could I have had to do as you say? Oh, but there is ample reason. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. And your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider what would motivate a man to infiltrate a shop such as this and covertly dig beneath its floor. This answer is revealed by the council notice on the counter to which your eyes have inadvertently been drawn. This letter gives notice of the public works to be carried out in the local area. And according to the enclosed plan for the upcoming sewage works, beneath the shop runs a sewer that adjoins another, one that runs under the bank of the opposite side of the road. This madness has entered the sewers now, has it? By excavating the ground beneath the feet, our feet, you would gain access to the waterway that flows in a very proximity to the great vault of the financial institution opposite. What are you... In summary, sir, You devised a masterful plan to pull off an elaborate bank robbery by dint of the underground tunnels. Master plan? Which brings us to at last the final chapter of this lurid scheme. With that plunder did the thief hope to make off with the underground vault of the bank. Are you quite serious? Having consulted with the Scotland Yard some days ago, I happen to know the answer. You're second in viewers for this game. I am? Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. For some reason, my chat's kind of broken today. Like, it's not, now that I have to restart it, it's not showing the amount of viewers, but welcome. But naturally, the answer is no secret to you, is it, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You'll see the picture of postcard, as tells us all we need to know. A postcard of the Great Exhibition. I'm afraid you've quite lost me. Currently in the final stages of preparation, the Great Expedition will soon be underway, and the government has provided extra funds to complete its centerpiece, the Crystal Tower. Funds that currently sit in the vault of the bank, on the other side of the road. Pardon? Yes, the considerable crime you have been contemplating is the theft of that which sits in the vault of the bank, the special reserve funds for the Great Expedition. Of course, this is top secret police information, so keep it under your hat, please. He just casually tells, like, 5 people. To steal the Great Exhibition's reserve funds. And thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this pawnbroking puzzle. Mr. Sholmes. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, an impressively upbeat deduction for a detective racked with loneliness, would you not agree? Was it true what you said about the bank over the road and what it has in the vault? Indeed, though few ever know of existence, it is one of the government's most closely guarded secrets. Gregson told me in the strictest of confidence. But you just announced it to everyone here. Rather loudly, in fact. Ah. And if it's such a big secret, how would Mr. Benedict have come to find out about it? And there can be only but one explanation for that. Clearly it's because the man is a criminal. But what if he didn't know anything about the money in the vault? If he's a criminal, as you say, and then burying a brand new shovel is sure to be the first thing he does, or buying, is now that you've revealed the secret. Oh. Or if he doesn't, maybe Mr. Winterbank will? He already had plenty of shovels here, after all. On my life, I assure you I'm not so unscrupulous. Well, hopefully this has taught you a valuable lesson. Sensitive information must be handled with the utmost of care. One can never be too sure that someone privy to secrets won't disclose them, and once the word is out, it's out. Perhaps I'll think twice before confiding in you next time, Mr. Sholmes. This is Ruinosuke. Never mind. An excellent idea, Mr. Naruhodo. An excellent idea. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, you know what to do, I'm sure. Yes, let's listen to that great deduction again and see if we can message it into shape. Massage it. Very well then, let us start from the beginning. Of Herlock Sholmes' magnificent logic and reasoning spectacular. Here we go. My turn. First of all, we must ask ourselves what business you ventured into this pawnbrokery today. You claim to have followed the pickpocket here, having had the redemption ticket stolen from you on the street. But that is most certainly a lie. The real truth is something quite different. As revealed by that which you hold in your hand. This, what brought you for this pawn shop in the first place, the staff recruitment flyer. So, for Mr. Sholmes' reasoning, Mr. Benedict came here in order to apply for a job so he could dig down through the floor. Yes, an attempt to tunnel into the sewers to gain access to the money in the vault of the bank across the road. But he wouldn't get very far with a broken shovel, would he? No, I think it's fair to say his motives lies elsewhere. The question is where? What did bring Mr. Benedict out here at this particular point in time? Something on the back of that. That's a proper English gentleman's cane, isn't it? Look at the beautifully polished brass on the handle. Why do I get the feeling that this is actually all a ploy? And this guy is like part of the scheme with Gina. I think I called her Greener. With Gina, and Gina is currently stealing something. Proper English gentleman's cane, isn't it? Look at the beautifully polished brass on the handle. Yes, but Mr. Sholmes is right. It's not the sort of handle you usually see on a cane. Perhaps it's the latest London fashion? I mean, that's just guesswork, of course. Perhaps you could adopt a cane, Mr. Naruhodo. It might rather suit you. I have a feeling it might argue with the sword around my waist. Oh, look at all the scribbled notes at the back of the flyer here. I don't believe it. Well, what is it? Listen to what it says. Name, Gina Lestrade, height 5'2". Green cap, scruffy waistcoat, grubby white shirt, blue satchel, ragged. Or ragged. It's a detailed description of Miss Lestrade. Goodness. There's even a sketch of her, hat and all. Although, if he showed it to her, she'd fire that smoke grenade launcher in his face for sure. And look, the details of the shop has been written down here too. The Windybank's Pawnbrokery, Baker Street, redemption deadline, 15th of April. Which is today's date. Why would Mr. Benedict have all that information scrawled on the back of that piece of paper? Scribbled light writing.
Take that!
About Miss Lestrade. Whee! Yes, what brought you to this shop in the first place is the info about Miss Lestrade. Quite so, my dear fellow. It would appear that the writing in the sketch on the reverse of the flyer pertains to the pickpocket Miss Lestrade and to Mr. Windybank's pawnbrokery here. You originally told us. Oh, it made her jump because she wasn't originally not part of this. That you had merely given chase after Miss Lestrade stole the redemption ticket from you. But that, sir, is a thinly veiled lie. It is in the information on the back of the flyer that led you here today. By which I mean, here to Windybank's pawnbrokery and today, the redemption deadline of the overcoat. So you waited outside for the poor girl matching the description you have written down to arrive. Huh. The malnourished Victorian girl is taller than Apollo. Pretty much. Sounds like that. Let me just check on that. Of course, when I just put Apollo's height, it gives me the Greek god Apollo. Apollo's height is 5'5". So actually, she's shorter. Huh. And you have gone to some lengths to hide the reason for your pursuit of Miss Lestrade. Look it up. I literally just looked it up, and everything I'm seeing says 5'5". You've gone to some lengths to hide the reason of your pursuit for Miss Lestrade. In other words, there is some ulterior motive for your actions. The cane with which you unwittingly hold touching your person exhibits an incontrovertible contradiction. What utter rot. I have had this cane for years. Missing Farouk. What's a ferrule? Is the metal cap commonly found on the end of a cane, Mr. Naruhodo? bag. There's no drop friends on my side. It's a metal cap commonly found on the end of a cane. The bit that makes the nice clacky sound on the pavement. Yes, exactly. And Mr. Sholmes is right. It appears to be missing on this cane. But it doesn't actually look broken, does it? No, it does not. Though the gentleman certainly did recoil when Mr. Sholmes identified the cane as suspicious. In other words, there's some secret about the cane that Mr. Benedict would rather not... We don't know. I'll read the initials. Look here, Mr. Zado. There's some letters on the handle. Ah, yes, those must be initials, I think. In the West, it's customary for people to engrave their belongings with the first letters of their name. So, Herlock Sholmes would be HS, you mean? That's right. And the initials on this cane is obviously... Oh. AG. Why does it feel as though that's not quite right? Just in case there's anything else in this cane. I don't see anything else, so it's probably this.
Take that!
Initially. The contradiction of which I speak is, of course, the initialing. Out of most astute observation, wouldn't you say, Mr. Eggert Benedict? We are led to believe, sir, that your initials are EB. Yet, in a most possessive manner, you have in your grasp a cane bearing the initials AG. Apollo Gustus. An incontrovertible contradiction indeed, would you not agree? No, you're wrong. This case isn't... You said before that you had that cane for years. Ugh. So you don't try to tell us that you just borrowed it from a friend or found it in the park. In short, though you hold yourself to be a gentleman, you have withheld your true name. You recoil, sir. Is something wrong? Aye. And in your recoiling, you inadvertently facilitate the answer to the next conundrum to present itself. Namely, what is the truth behind this rod you bear? Yes, your reaction betrays the truth. The handle with which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding the riddle, you see. Let's consider the bare bones of what's happened here. Mr. Strahd redeemed that fine-looking overcoat. And now a mysterious man has appeared, introducing himself with a fake name, and claiming that the overcoat belongs to him. But we know that he actually identified Mr. Strahd from a written description, which suggests that everything else he told us is untrue. So what we need to do here is somehow prove that the overcoat cannot possibly belong to him. There you go.
Take that!
The split C with which you evidently would like to conceal is the key to understanding this riddle, you see. Yes, because the overcoat is rather obviously a poor fit. Having forced it to you over your broad shoulders, the seam is already breaking apart. My suspicions were aroused from the outset. Yeah, of course. When you so boldly lied about your name and so boldly waylaid this pocket, this catalogue of untruths has all been for one very specific purpose. To steal the article that your young girl redeemed for Mr. Wenderbank. What really irks me is this. The considerable crime I initially imagined has been considerably curtailed. To abscond with the redeemed item. Solved. Now, Mr. Benedict, let's continue. For we must expose the details of this elaborate crime you've been planning. Blah, blah, blah. This is utterly absurd. You suggest that I, a gentleman, would design a ruse to filch some tawdry article of pawnage? Have you forgotten that I redeemed the article in the proper manner, using the watchword? Had I not been the one to dispose it in the first place? How could I possibly have known the relevant details? N'est-ce pas? N'est-ce pas? Oh, but the watchword can be discovered. As you are only too well aware, Mr. Benedict. And your furtive glance is more telling than I could have hoped. What? Let us consider how one might come to learn a secret watchword relating to the pawned property of another. The method is revealed by the council notice on the counter for which your eyes have been inadvertently drawn. Try getting it wrong, the sound effect is funny. Does it... Well, I hope it doesn't break my achievements if I do that. Like, if there's an achievement for getting every deduction correct. The direction of the deduction must change rather dramatically now, I think. Yes, no more talk of tunneling into the sewers. Which is a pity, because it all sounded rather exciting. Anyway, you can't deny that this mysterious gentleman did know the watchword. Yes, Professor. If you didn't know that word, Mr. Windibank would never have allowed you to redeem the article. Or, looking at it another way, if you did know that word, Mr. Windibank would allow you to redeem the article whether it was yours or not. The question is, could this gentleman have found the watchword out somehow? This is Mr. Windibank's gun. Yes, loaded with only one bullet, he said. It would appear that being a pawnbroker is a very life or death profession. That just might be this particular establishment. Picture of a cat. Look at this, Mr. Zaro. Oh, it appears to be a memo that Mr. Windibank has scribbled to himself. Let's see, what does it say? Oh, Professor. Mr. Windibank must make note of the watchwords his customers give him, right before their eyes. And in an alarmingly clear script as well. Oh dear, I don't know where to look. Who knows what other secrets I might see? Alright, I guess we'll present the gun. See what the funny thing is.
Take that!
Coercing the broker for information by holding a gun to his head. That's assault. By using the broker's own gun to do it, that's rubbing assault in the wound. But somehow, when none of us are looking, you must be forced, Mr. Windibank, to tell you the watchword. Well, what precisely was your intention with that, Mr. Naruhodo? Just following your natural progression of deduction. Sometimes the truth hurts. Well, the truth is you do not have a turn of observation or reduction. Did that hurt? Yes, a lot. There's no question that Mr. Benedict used some wheeze or other to find out the watchword. Let's think. He's only appeared in the shop after Mr. Strahd and redeemed the Dovercoat. We certainly couldn't have overheard Mr. Strahd saying the watchword. We can only have discovered it from something on his countertop. Sounds like I need to have another look. Examine things more closely. Yeah. I know it's this one.
Take that!
I destroy this notion. The method is revealed by the notelet on the counter to which your eyes were inadvertently drawn. Yes, the broker here follows the same procedure whenever a customer comes to redeem an article. He asks the customers for the watchword and notes down the responses uttered on the notelet that he has in his hand. And then he consults the ledger and confirms whether or not the watchword matches that of the article in question. I would expect nothing less of a diligent pawnbroker. But his diligence clearly has its disadvantages. Oh, what are you talking about? It is increasingly apparent that you were present in this shop before your accusation against Mr. Strahd. In all likelihood, you followed her inside and then observed her talking to Mr. Windibank. And when the diligent broker made a note of the watchword at his common practice, you observed him writing the word Professor on the notelet beside the ledger. And that, sir, was the master plan you devised to steal the pawned article from the young Miss Lestrade. Master plan? Which brings us at last to the final chapter of this lurid scheme. Why would you go to such lengths to redeem that particular article for this pawnbroker? Are you quite serious? For an ill-fitting overcoat hardly seems to justify the effort, much less a worthless music box disc. But naturally, you have a very good reason to make them yours, didn't you, Mr. Benedict? I have no idea what you're talking about. Allow me to present a rather interesting piece of evidence. You see, this picture postcard tells us all we need to know. The article we're talking about are the overcoat and the music box disc that was one in the pockets, which according to Mr. Wenderbank isn't even worth a penny, and yet this man went to such lengths to steal them. Why? I wonder if perhaps we already have the evidence we need to explain it, Mr. Haruhodo. Could we? Really? I better have a thorough look through all the evidence we've collected so far. Time to examine. Look at all the little bumps in the disc. They're so tiny. Yes, the protrusions are called pins, and they're plucks of the teeth of the comb to make notes. It's the first time I've had to present evidence during a deduction. On the edge, just on the edge, there's a small amount of blood. Yes, the blood of the mysterious Egbert Benedict. But when Mr. Lestrade tried to grab the disc from him, the pin scratched his finger, it seems. Like when you're grating some daikon radish and accidentally cut your finger. Ouch! Just thinking about it hurts. It puts me off eating radish. Good, no one eats radish. It's disgusting. Mr. McGilded? Okay. Oh, there's a little scrap of paper stuck onto the reverse side of the disc. Look. A scribbled word or two. It looks like somebody's name. Or McGilded. McGilded? It couldn't be. The guy that died in a fire in the court of law? But it is, Mr. Naruhodo. A name I shall never forget, for as long as I live. But why? Why is his name on this? Woo. Alright, well.
Take that!
You see, this music box disc tells us everything we need to know. What's that on the back? It reads for Mr. McGilded. Mr. Magnus McGilded, the unfortunate philanthropist who perished in customs or curious circumstances at the Old Bailey 2 months ago. A prominent man in London, though his lone wandering demonstrated a distinct lack of scruples. So, you're an associate of his, are you? Or perhaps a subordinate? Mr. McGilded was a man of unusually small stature, in fact. He was precisely the right size for the overcoat that you've squeezed yourself into. Your true identity remains shrouded in mystery, Mr. Egbert Benedict. I keep calling me Egbert. It's Eggert. But the final conclusion here is crystal clear. The reason you came to this pawnbrokery today was to retrieve an article left behind by the late Magnus McGilded. And then he throws a smoke bomb. To acquire an item deposited by Mr. McGilded. Woo! Deduction complete. Good job, everyone. Egg. Just egg. Ugh. Well, Mr. Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Mrs. Zaddo. Well, according to what Mr. Windybank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat would have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would have been precisely 2 months since it was deposited. Well, today's April 15th, so 2 months ago today. Would have been the 15th of February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests... Yes, 15th of February. It's precisely the day in which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening. It's precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Suggestive's not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose, however... I must insist you hand over the music box disc. Now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in the box. What do I do? Absolutely not. Shoot me! There are some things a man must protect, at all costs. This may very well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Hold it! Mr. Wendybank, this is my shop. I have a gun! Prepare! This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Wendybank, no! Alright, that's enough. Oh, hey. Hey, Greg. Inspector Gregson? Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. Your alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. We got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Now, originally, I would think that it would be Holmes that somehow has a dedicated line. Is Regina an undercover inspector? Or detective or something? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my own establishment. You would see we have the upper hand. Right, you lot have some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy. Petty? Mr. Wendybank very nearly met his end. Yeah, by his own gun as far as I could tell. Oh dear. And the whole Britain could meet with his end. If I don't get to the bottom of this case I'm supposed to be working on. What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, sir, you're going to have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. He's getting away. Did he seriously just pirouette away and manage to run? What? Get after him, lads. Whistle the beat officer, too. Sir. There's been a spate of thefts at pawn shops around here recently. So we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Okay. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while. Very worried indeed. And now then, Mr. Permanently in mourning. Oh, yes? I'll be taking that whatever it is and Mr. McGill is down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't. Don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. I'm sorry, miss. But anything belonging to Mr. McGilded will be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Yeah. So we handed Mr. McGilded's discs over to Inspector Gregson. We were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. To be continued. That's how it ends? Okay. We were thrown out. After being put a gun in our face, we were just like, oh, who cares if you were about to die? You were interrupting an important thing here. How dare you? Like, dude, you're supposed to be protecting us. You're the police. It's still the 15th, okay. But that is a great place to stop. We can find out what happens next time. Because it's been 2 hours. And we can pick this up on... Today's Tuesday, so Thursday. We shall pick this up on Thursday. And we shall find out what happens next time. So thank you all for joining today. Hope everyone enjoyed. As usual, if you're not already, like, follow, subscribe to those bell notifications and all that stuff. So you know when I next stream. You know how to support me is links to Patreon and tips. And if you do become a patron, you get your name added to the patron list here, where I'll give you a shout out of every stream. Like I do with Hiro Kuni, the Soulmaster 37, and Raphatron 2000. I thank you for the continued support. I greatly appreciate you all. And we get held at gunpoint in a pawn shop because they want a disc for some reason. I don't know. Still don't know what the disc is about, but I wonder if it's going to be a case where the disc is sort of a voice recording, like the world's like a recording on a music disc, which would be weird, but hey, stranger things have happened. But yeah, hope to see you all either tomorrow. We'll be back with more Dying Light, or I'll see you all on Thursday with more of this. So again, thanks for joining. You all have a nice rest of the day. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, until next time, you all take care. Hopefully there won't be any problems with the stream next time. I don't know why it disconnected, but anyway, see you everyone. Bye Raphatron, bye Balaroth, bye Von Karma. See you next time.